Are you having a hard time deciding what to set the prices in your vendor to? Or maybe nothing you're offering is selling? Well, in today's video, we will take a look at some different items and some fair ways to price them. Though the in-game menus may suggest some prices, they are almost always incorrect. In most cases, overvaluing simple or common items, and in extreme cases, undervaluing extremely valuable items. Let's start with the most simple of items, ammunition. Now, most ammunition will sell for around 1 cap each, but there are a few exceptions. Usually the cost of ammunition will depend on 2 factors, one being how easy it is to accumulate, and the second being how easy it is to use it all. Certain ammunitions, such as ultrasight, can be sold for a little bit more due to them not being as easily crafted. Other ammunitions, like explosives, can be sold for 5 to about 10 caps. But remember, these are just suggestions and you can sell items at whatever price you would like, as long as it's under 40,000 caps, of course. Moving on to the next items that you will find in player shops. Legendary weapons and armor. These items can be sold to other players for caps if they aren't a good roll. A price that I have found to be reasonable for most players is about 10 caps per script. So, for example, a 1-star legendary weapon would go for about 5 script. Thus, you could sell it for about 50 caps and so on. Some weapons, armor, apparel, and plans can range from a few caps to more than the maximum of 40,000 caps. A great way to find out if you're sitting on a small fortune is to check Fed 76. This handy tool has a price checker for these tricky items. I will leave a link in the description below. Food is not something often sold in player vendors, as it spoils, and being stored inside of a stash with no benefit of any perks will assure the spoilage as fast as possible. Items that do not spoil, that are worth noting, would be canned coffee, selling for around 10 caps per unit, Nuka-Colas, selling for around 10 to 20 depending on your preference, and surprisingly enough, canned foods, selling for usually cheap 5 caps maximum, but players do buy them for dailies and other necessities. As for the aids section, I find players buying chems for about a quarter of what their listed value is, especially serums for 500 caps. Honestly, a little bit steep, but players don't mind spending a little extra for what to some would be a one-time use. Moving on to our next category, junk. There is rare junk that spawns in the wasteland. Usually only in a single or a handful of places. These rare junk items can range from scorched body parts in jars, to harmonicas, to jumbo Mr. Fuzzy plushies. If collecting small amounts of junk just isn't your thing, then maybe you are into gathering vast amounts of junk and bulking them together. If so, then I have found a guide that I will link in the description for every single bulk item. This was just a quick and simple guide to help any players who are new to either buying or selling vendor items. Let me know what kind of prices you guys suggest. And as always guys, thank you so much for watching.